Meghan is a hypocrite in the biggest sense of the word because these children have moments where they look completely different in their sizes and the color of their hair. I think what Meghan is doing is trying to control a narrative, but failing miserably at it. We have caught on to her. We figured her out.
Now, removing the names Rachel and Meghan, it suggests that Rachel Meghan, Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex, née Markle, did not give birth to Archie. That a woman who was identified as Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex gave birth to that child.
What you can tell is, in my opinion, I can't see any traces of Meghan Markle in her features whatsoever. I can see a lot of Prince Harry, but I don't see a lot of Markle. Now that could just be the camera angle, all of that. And isn't it interesting about when she sat down with Oprah Winfrey and talked about the concerns about the colour of the skin of her children?
Sorry, but the ever-changing hair colour and ever-changing size of their children is what causes so many conspiracy theories. How can she be smaller now at age 5 than she was a year ago climbing Mama Mountain? They are playing games, and I think even using AI to manipulate images.
Meghan Markle released new photos of Lilibet for her 5th birthday, but the celebration quickly turned into online debate. Within hours, millions were questioning what they saw. Some said the new images did not seem consistent with older ones, while others pointed out how different she looked from photo to photo. An old change to the birth certificate, still without a clear explanation accepted by the public, added even more attention. Soon, the discussion grew far beyond the birthday itself.
But there was nothing adorable about this. What it is a hypocritical money play. At 5 years old, Meghan Markle has realized that that poor young girl is the best way for her to make money.
First, here's what Meghan posted. The photos included a family picture of Harry, Meghan, and Lilibet in a garden, plus a solo shot of Lilibet. Big media outlets quickly framed them as a warm birthday tribute and another happy family update. Online, though, many people looked past the positive headlines and focused on the details. Some said Lilibet's dress looked like the same one seen weeks earlier in a behind-the-scenes video for Meghan's As Ever brand. Others also pointed to what appeared to be the same gold bracelet, along with bare feet and a similar natural hairstyle. Those details quickly set off fresh debate across social media.
Something is always off with the photos, and it's obvious they are heavily photoshopped and often badly, hence the little girl's hand melting into the balloon strings. Harry is creating more speculation over his children than what was ever said about Hewitt and his DNA, and this will backfire on his children as they grow older.
That quickly raised a simple question online. Was this photo really taken on Lilibet's birthday? Or had it been shot weeks earlier during a brand-related session and then used for the birthday post? The timing soon became a major point of debate.
Now, the idea of this solo picture really is to make sure that people can see, particularly people who could be lucrative moving forward. By the time I would suggest this child gets to 6 or 7, maybe even earlier, we could have full-on front pictures. This is the future. This is where Meghan Markle sees the, shall we say, business brand.
The bracelet added even more attention. The Daily Mail said it looked a lot like Meghan's well-known Cartier Love bracelet, a luxury item often seen on her wrist. That detail led to more online debate, with some people asking whether it was simply picked as an accessory for the birthday photos or part of a bigger style choice tied to the family's public image. Many commenters also said the timing stood out.
Yes, she is using these children for commercial reasons. At one point on her Shop My page, she was selling some of their clothing. She received commission off of that. Sometimes she's promoting As Ever through these pictures.
Now compare the birthday photo with one shared just a few months earlier, showing Lilibet climbing on Meghan's back. Some online viewers said she looked taller and bigger in the earlier image, but smaller and slimmer in the birthday photo. Others pushed back, saying camera angle, posture, distance, and when a photo is taken can all change how someone looks. Even so, the side-by-side comparison spread quickly on social media. Her hair also became part of the discussion.
Meghan is a hypocrite in the biggest sense of the word because these children have moments where they look completely different in their sizes and the color of their hair. I think what Meghan is doing is trying to control a narrative, but failing miserably at it. We have caught on to her. We figured her out.
Critics said the color seems to change from photo to photo, looking brighter in some, lighter in others, and darker in others. Commentator Taz, who reportedly compared several images side by side, said the differences were easy to spot and helped keep the debate going. Taz also claimed that one balloon photo showed unusual details around a hand and the balloon strings, which led to more talk about possible digital editing. While lighting, image quality, and compression can sometimes create odd visual effects, some online commenters believe the repeated questions across several photo releases suggest a pattern worth noting.
Well, the idea really is that, you have to put yourself out there as a mother figure. This is what sells. People like to see you doing mothering activities. So you'll see more and more and more of Markle with children, whether it be baking, whether it be running across fields. We're supposed to believe that this child, remember, at 4 or 5 years old, was able to operate that camera and film her parents dancing across the field. This is the absolute ridiculousness of where we're now at.
This has become one of the biggest parts of the whole debate, showing up again and again in comment sections, reaction videos, and social media posts. Many online users have shared the same view when talking about the family photos released to the public. A lot of commenters say they do not personally see a strong resemblance to Meghan and the children based on the images available. Of course, that is completely subjective and comes down to personal opinion. Genetics can work in unexpected ways, and children may take after one side of the family more than the other. Even so, people who hold this view say the fact that so many others have said the same thing is why the conversation keeps going and continues to come up whenever the photos are discussed.
The gruesome twosome are both liars and frauds, and those kids need to be DNA tested. It makes me wonder if the palace is complicit in covering up this surrogacy, or whether they were hoodwinked just like the general public.
It was Meghan herself who brought this issue into public view during her interview with Oprah Winfrey, when she spoke about alleged concerns within the royal family over how her children might look. That interview turned the topic into a major global story and drew intense media attention. Because Meghan raised it so publicly, some commentators now look back at those remarks when new family photos are released. As a result, the images often become part of a broader conversation about appearance, resemblance, and the claims discussed on such a public stage.
But if you truly believe that there is something sinister about social media, which is what Harry and Meghan have campaigned against for the last 7 years. Remember when Harry was involved in the committee to create social media guidelines with the Aspen Institute?
Yeah.
They have been fighting social media companies, I'd say, for 5 years solid. If you truly feel that there is something sinister about them, then you keep your children off them in every way, shape, or form.
Many people say these photo debates would not get nearly as much attention if other issues were not being discussed at the same time. One of the biggest is a legal document that some commentators believe still has not been properly explained, even after several years. That unresolved detail continues to keep the wider conversation going.
Remember when Harry announced the day of Archie's birth? He slipped up and he said that it was amazing how Archie had grown in 2 weeks. I think he said changed. But I get the point. I could be wrong and you could be right.
This is the point where some supporters say the story moves past online talk and into official records. After Archie was born, reports said his birth certificate listed his mother as Rachel Meghan, Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex, also known as Markle. The document was later changed, and the reference to Rachel Meghan was removed, leaving Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex instead. That update has been debated for years. Royal commentator and author Lady C has also spoken publicly about the change and shared her view of what it may mean under English legal procedures. In her analysis, birth certificate amendments are usually made to correct details on a record and are not normally done without a formal reason. Because of that, some commentators still question why the change was made and what led to the document being updated.
By removing the names Rachel and Meghan, it suggests that Rachel Meghan, Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex, née Markle, did not give birth to Archie. That a woman who was identified as Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex gave birth to that child.
For many commentators, that question is still the heart of the debate. If the original details were correct, some ask why the amendment was needed at all. Lady C has also pointed to another issue she believes matters. She says the full names of other royal mothers, including Princess Diana and Catherine, Princess of Wales, remained on their children's birth records, while Meghan's record was treated differently. Critics often focus on that difference when discussing the change. Commentators also frequently mention reports about the paperwork linked to the birth record. Some say there are differences between Archie's documents and records connected to other royal births, though people interpret those differences in different ways. Harry's remarks during the birth announcement have also been examined for years. Some viewers felt his comments about how much the baby had changed sounded unusual based on the timeline being presented at the time. Those points still keep the discussion going among royal watchers and commentators.
Meghan went on Oprah Winfrey and said that they were refused titles actually by the royal family due to racism, which was not true at all. They inevitably inherited those prince and princess titles once King Charles came to the throne. She also said she wasn't going to serve her children to the media on a silver platter, specifically Archie, but now we have her serving her children on a silver platter to the same social media companies that she goes around campaigning against.
People noticed these details right away, and the questions have not gone away since. It is important to say that none of the claims or theories about this issue have been proven. Meghan has said the change was made based on guidance from palace officials. At the same time, reports say palace sources denied giving that instruction. Those conflicting accounts have left many people wondering what actually happened. The reason the debate continues is simple. No explanation has fully satisfied everyone. Because of that, commentators, critics, and royal watchers still return to the issue years later and argue over the different versions of events.
But really from the off, remember, this is a woman who basically said to the most powerful and much loved monarch in the world, Queen Elizabeth, that she wasn't going to stand on the steps of some hospital and have her children served up on a platter. Do not forget exactly what they did to earn money previously.
For many years, royal births were usually followed by the same public scene. Once the mother left the hospital, the parents would step outside with their baby to face cameras and reporters. Princess Diana did this after both of her sons were born, and Catherine, Princess of Wales, followed the same pattern with all three of her children. Those photos later became some of the most famous images in modern royal history. That is why Meghan's choice to do things differently drew so much attention. Royal watchers pointed out that she did not take part in that tradition and instead kept the birth news far more private. Some critics said this went against long-standing royal habits and did not match the comparisons often made between Meghan and Princess Diana. Reports said Meghan felt uneasy about showing her newborn to the media in that kind of setting, so she chose a more private approach, which led to heavy public debate at the time.
The whole thing stinks to high heaven and shouldn't be happening, and should have been cleared up years ago, and should be cleared up, because they're only one of two possible explanations. Either is completely unacceptable, either explanation, and I'm not even going to what the explanations are at this point, but there are only two explanations, both of which are extremely damning towards Meghan Markle as an individual.
This is the part many critics say is difficult to make sense of. Meghan had already spent years in the public eye, constantly being photographed, and royal experts have long talked about how often she was compared with Princess Diana. Because of that, some people found it surprising that she chose not to take part in one of the best-known traditions after a royal birth. To those commentators, the hospital steps photo was one of the biggest public moments a royal mother could have. They believe an appearance watched around the world would have drawn huge attention. Because of that, some critics have asked why the tradition was not followed, and have suggested there may have been reasons behind the choice that were never clearly shared with the public. Those questions are still discussed today across royal media and social platforms.
It only can be done when there is an error of fact. And if there was no error of fact, when Rachel, Meghan, Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex, née Markle, was put down on that birth certificate, they could not, by law, have rightfully removed it without indulging in serious legal irregularity.
If this had only been a little online gossip, many people would say the best move was to ignore it. Public figures often stay silent on rumors, criticism, and guesswork, trusting the noise to die down on its own. But critics point out that not long before Lilibet's birthday, Meghan's team gave Newsweek a statement about how she shares photos of her children on social media. Reports said the statement stressed that posting a few carefully chosen family moments is very different from placing children under intense public scrutiny. It also said that partly hiding the children's faces fits with the privacy values Meghan has spoken about before. That response quickly drew attention from commentators. Some saw it as a normal explanation, while others took it as proof that Meghan's team knew about the criticism that often comes whenever family photos are released. Either way, the statement soon became part of the larger debate over the pictures and the family's overall approach to privacy.
Harry was never solicitous towards Meghan, as a husband would be to an actual pregnant woman. Oh, I couldn't agree more. Because there are several photographs and tapes of her bending down on her haunches with a massive belly protruding, usually beyond a skin-tight outfit. And she bounces up back like a ball.
Critics have noted that many of Meghan's Instagram posts this year have featured family-themed content. The photos shared publicly have included Disney trips, ski outings, holiday moments, lifestyle projects, brand-related posts, Valentine's Day, and International Women's Day. Because of this, some commentators say family images now appear regularly in her social media content rather than as rare looks into private life. Those same critics also pointed to a photo shared before Meghan's appearance in Geneva, showing her with Lilibet while wearing a designer outfit that attracted attention online. Some people felt the post mixed family life with personal branding, while others saw it as a completely normal social media update. The debate grew stronger after Meghan spoke about children's experiences online and the dangers they can face in digital spaces. After that speech, commentators again questioned whether her message about protecting children's privacy matches the way family photos are posted on social media. That gap has become a major point of debate for both supporters and critics.
Well, the idea really is that, you have to put yourself out there as a mother figure. This is what sells. People like to see you doing mothering activities. So you'll see more and more and more of Markle with children, whether it be baking, whether it be running across fields. We're supposed to believe that this child, remember, at 4 or 5 years old, was able to operate that camera and film her parents dancing across the field. This is the absolute ridiculousness of where we're now at.
The criticism has not come from just one part of the media. The Independent even ran an opinion piece titled, "I've had it with the hypocrisy of social media moms like Meghan," raising concerns about where the line sits between privacy and public sharing. Former friend Mickey Eade also spoke out against Meghan's approach, adding more fuel to the debate. Some child safety and law enforcement experts have weighed in on the wider issue of children's privacy online as well. They say that partly hiding a child's identity can sometimes create even more curiosity and speculation, which may bring the very attention parents want to avoid. Because of that, critics argue that Meghan's statement did not calm the controversy. Instead, they believe it added to the view that she knows the scrutiny around her social media choices is growing, and that her posts continue to spark strong public reaction.
What Meghan is doing clearly is she is highlighting these children constantly and putting them out there front and center to say, look at my children. That's what she is saying. And trying to also say they are mysterious. Aren't they? Because when they write, look at the adorable pictures that Meghan shared of her children. That's laughable. Because an adorable picture would be looking at a beautiful smile, a happy child, a well-groomed child that is just being, happy and in the moment. But it's clear propaganda and lying about what you're doing because you don't want to sacrifice. You don't want to have to not do what you want to do. So of course you're going to make excuses for it.
Take another look at the family portrait. The photo shared for Lilibet's 5th birthday shows Harry, Meghan, and Lilibet together, and it quickly got a lot of attention online. But many people soon noticed that Archie was not in the picture. That sparked a fresh wave of debate, with critics asking why one child was included in the birthday post while the other was left out. There could be many reasons for it, but his absence still became another big topic of discussion around the post.
The one person missing is Archie. Now, wouldn't you think that Archie should be there to literally wish his younger sister a happy birthday if this is a glorious family portrait? Well, there's a lot behind the scenes, you see.
Just weeks earlier, Archie's birthday was marked with a public photo showing him alone from behind. Lilibet's birthday post looked very different, with a bright garden, flowers, and both parents by her side. That contrast quickly drew attention online, and some people questioned whether the two posts gave off very different messages. Others said it is unfair to compare separate posts without knowing what the family intended, since that can lead to conclusions that may not be true. The debate also led some royal watchers to connect the situation to themes Harry discussed in Spare, where he wrote about the personal impact of growing up as the younger brother of a future king. Critics say the difference between the birthday posts reflects those same ideas, while supporters call that comparison unfair and based only on guesswork. At the same time, people have also noticed several public events where Harry appeared without Meghan, including charity appearances, polo games, and social outings. Those moments have added to the conversation about the couple's public schedule and how they choose to show up at events, even though no official reason has been given for each one.
Well, I think what it tells us is that Harry's trying to find happiness, and he's trying to find what his other options are.
And that doesn't involve Megs.
I'm not saying that they're going to get divorced in the next 5 years, but I do think he's trying to find a path that better suits him and his personality.
This week, former People editor Dan Wakeford shared new details that brought more attention to the ongoing story about Harry and William's relationship. Based on the reports he discussed, the brothers are still said to have very little contact, and their last widely reported in-person conversation reportedly happened around Queen Elizabeth II's funeral in September 2022. There have also been claims that Harry reached out after Catherine's cancer diagnosis, but no private exchanges have been publicly confirmed. Even so, talk about the state of their relationship keeps growing, especially as their lives seem to be moving further apart. Reports that Harry was absent from certain family events only added to the speculation. Some believe he once hoped the relationship could be repaired, while others think the divide has now become deeply fixed. At the same time, William has continued to step forward in a major public role, leading many people to focus on how differently the two brothers' lives have unfolded. For critics of Harry's choices, that contrast has become one of the clearest parts of the wider royal family story, and a continuing source of debate across the media.
William has a really hard line with Harry because that's exactly what Harry needs. He needs to really feel how he has fallen far from, the family, and he will never have these opportunities to grow his relationship now with his brother as long as he is with Meghan.
That brings us to the moment many commentators say best shows the contrast at the heart of this royal story. This week, Catherine, Princess of Wales, visited the Christie NHS Foundation Trust in Manchester, where she spent time with cancer patients. She met people going through some of the hardest days of their lives, and was there as a patient named Claire reached the end of her treatment. When it was time to ring the bell that marks that milestone, Catherine shared a short but moving moment with her, saying, "This is your day, ring it." The moment quickly struck a chord with many people following the visit. Supporters saw it as a strong display of compassion, especially in light of Catherine's own recent health struggles. To them, it felt genuine, heartfelt, and deeply human. Around the same time, Prince William was also seen at a public event, speaking comfortably with members of the public and adding to the image of steadiness and connection. Royal commentators said these appearances showed the kind of public service that often draws praise, with the focus staying on the people being helped rather than on drama or headlines.
After he poured the beer, he went to shake the gentleman's hand. It was like a little dap in there, you know, like that's a cool move. That's a man who is down with the people.
Many people say the public is seeing a wider gap in how the two couples are viewed. Supporters of William and Catherine often highlight their public duties and charity work as signs that they have built trust and goodwill over the years. At the same time, critics of Harry and Meghan often focus on their business projects, branding choices, and media approach, arguing that these decisions can sometimes create more confusion than clarity. The debate over the children has also become a big part of the wider discussion. Every new photo seems to spark fresh online reactions, and each public response brings another round of analysis and mixed opinions. Questions about past records, public comments, and family photos continue to spread across social media, news coverage, and royal commentary platforms. Even after all this time, many people feel some issues have never been fully explained, which is why the speculation still draws so much attention. What do you think about it all? Share your views in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and want to keep up with the latest royal news, controversies, and breaking updates, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with others who follow the story.